Hello, everyone. My name is Guy. I worked on the back end. I did some authentication, and I did a little bit of the front end with my account. Yeah, that's the gist of what I did.
My name is Austin. I worked on the front end and back end for everything having to do with like creating and replying to posts. So I handled all that data.
I'm Jay. I did a bunch of stuff with the looper and a bunch of the web audio stuff. And our project is called the web audio looper, or the web looper for short. And so a bit of an overview. The point of our application, or the purpose of our application, is it's designed for both musicians and beginners. It's a website with two major components: a looper, a musical tool to compose simple loops, and a form to share loops with one another. While most applications of this sort are either geared towards meticulous composition or studio recording, or for composing while performing, none that we know of have an integrated form aspect. We believe this sort of application can foster the creativity of a broad and diverse musical community. Okay, now we'll do a looper demo. All right, so here we have our looper editor. So here we have we start with a layer that has 16 intervals. And so if I press play, well, nothing happens because I haven't added anything. But if I add these, you'll hear a kick. But if I want to go ahead and make this look nicer, or sound nicer, I should say, we're going to add a hi-hat and a snare. So now we have a beat. If I want to hear, because it's kind of hard to hear with just the things on here. So if I want to hear the actual metronome, I can click this button here, so I can get a better feel for the tempo. And I can also turn it off. I can change the volume. I can make it slower, like so. And I can add notes. So now we have a little half a scale, I guess. I don't know. So yeah. And once I'm done, I can save the project. And it'll loop through twice while I'm recording. And I won't be able to touch any of this stuff because it'll interfere with the recording, and so it's blocking all those inputs. And so this button comes up, and I can click download, and it doesn't show up on here, but it pulls up a file explorer window, and then I can go ahead and choose a location and download it. And if I go into my folders and I pull it out and I try to open it in Chrome, I should be able to play it back. And it should loop if you had it set up. On our website, if you post these, they'll loop continuously. So yeah, that's the demo for the looper. Yeah.
So we have user like login and registration functionality. So now we're looking right here. We're looking at the registration screen. So there's username and password field, and so now we're going to make a Lois Griffin account, and we're going to hit submit. And once we do that, we're going to send back to the main page, which means that the user is created successfully. And now if we go to login and we input, let's input some wrong info to see what happens. So we're going to try to log in as Lois Griffin, and we're going to input some random password. And we should, so nothing happens. So like we're not logged in, yeah. But if we put in the right password, we're gonna be sent back to the main page. And now you see that in the top right, and where before it said like login, now it says log out, and there's my account page too. So we know we're logged in. And now when we when we make posts and when we comment on posts, now our username will be attached. And so here we can demo actually that file area that we created. We can show what happens when we make a post about that. So we'll call my loop. We'll say, oh my God, I have an awesome loop. Oh, beta. Nice. Yeah. And so when you click choose file, there's like a file choosing interface that comes up. And if we search for that post, hopefully it should come up. And there it is. And so it was made 0 minutes ago. No likes, no comments. Oh, and you can play it as well right from here. Yeah. And if we hit like real quick, you'll see that the number of likes gets incremented. Same thing happens for dislikes and also replies as well. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, that's that. Not cool. Everybody has haters. There's the comment.
So when you navigate to the My Account page, it'll pull up your account information. So what we did was we got your username and then your stats. As you can see, we made one post. There's an average of 1 like per post, average of 1 dislike per post, and 1 comment per post. And then we hit the back to forum button. So while we do feel like we've successfully produced a functioning product, there are a few things that became stumbling blocks along the way, and some of them we really did not expect. So for the looper, we were a little bit distraught and annoyed by how sparse the documentation was, and we couldn't find an established way of recording and encoding MP3 files from the browser.
Yeah, the last the most recent attempt at doing this was, I think, about 7 years ago, some media recorder project on GitHub.
Yeah, another problem with that was the media recorder, when it would download a WebM file, it didn't contain any metadata, so we couldn't grab the duration of audio, so it would just play wrong. And for that, we had to use another library on GitHub to fix. Additionally, for playing audio files in the forum, I initially had the file transmission working by creating local text files with like the base64 data from the audio. And that didn't work because Heroku wipes everything the second you redeploy the website. So what I had to do was then make a database for all the data, and that seemed to work. But overall, the lesson we really got from all this was it was very difficult to figure out how to use web audio and how to get to the documentation to actually do stuff. Even like simple tasks, we had a hard time figuring it out.
Yeah, and just one thing I would like to add, unrelated to the web audio stuff, is that during my when I was setting up authentication, there was this weird bug where I would submit like login info or registration info, and the server would receive null data. And I think I spent like 5 or 6 hours figuring that out. And I think what the issue ended up being was when you hit the enter key, data would be submitted once, like automatically by the form. And also there was some JavaScript I set up that would also send over the data. And the second time it would send over the null data. So yeah, that was a fun 6 hours for just a one simple fix.
So some future work that we might want to do with this project is for the loop editor, we would like some way to be able to load forum posts into the loop editor, so you could directly load someone else's project and then make changes to it or try a different spin on it. And some more sound effects like reverb, delay, or some more fun effects would be interesting to have.
One thing I wanted to improve upon that I couldn't really do with what we have set up with Heroku is for anonymous users specifically, I wanted to limit like how much data they can send based on their IP. So like if they liked one time on a post anonymously, I'd only let them like that post one time. But as it stands right now, we couldn't use someone's IP to do that type of stuff. So an anonymous user can like as many times as they want.
All right, that concludes our presentation, I think.